Welcome back, guys. Today we'll be looking at 3 alternatives to the Seiko SARB033. Now, why the Seiko SARB033? Well, as you may know, it is probably one of the most underrated watches when it first came out. This GS looking Seiko with a beautiful black dial with the sharp dolphin hands. It is an elegant dress watch. With that said, fast forward to 2024 and the SARB033 is going to set you back north of $500 and counting. Yikes, that is quite expensive. I'd like to stick with Seiko here since it is only fitting that the alternatives would also be a Seiko. Before we get right into it, please don't forget to click the subscribe button so that you don't miss watch reviews like this one. Thank you. Now we begin with this one. This is the Seiko 5 Actus, reference number 7019-7060, and right off the bat, the most appealing look of this watch is the polished inner chapter ring. You see that? Just look at that shine, and the way it reflects light on different angles is mesmerizing. This one is in excellent condition. Probably one of the few Seiko 5 Actus that I have that is in immaculate condition. And I'm quite happy to own this watch actually, since it was recently shown in one of TGV's collector's review. And I never would have known that I was featured there if Getting Christian, my friend and the viewer here in the comments, told me about it. So shout out to you, man. Just a crazy experience. Anyway, here's a short clip of him reacting to the Seiko Actus. Simple small watches. Next one is the Seiko 5 Actus. Yeah, this is a small watch.
Never seen this before.
About the same size as the SARB, or even smaller.
So it looks like a Seiko 5, but then it's got 5 Actus.
And I really love it. I don't have the Seiko SARB, but I think this is my Seiko SARB right here. It is a simple black dial with an inner chapter ring that is polished there. It looks very nice, it looks very clean. And so as you may know, I'm quite glad that I showed him a watch, or a Seiko watch specifically, that he wasn't aware of. And probably most of you too. So anyway, if you want to watch the whole video, I'll leave a link in the description. There are also other collectors with amazing collections. So what does the Actus stand for in these old Seiko 5s? Well, the Actus brand is much like the Prestige line or Prospex line, and these were Japan domestic watches, which shows that kanji day wheel. It is probable that this is the predecessor of the Seiko 5 we have today. Now, how does this specific watch compare to the SARB033? Well, first of all, the size, 37mm, which is 1mm short compared to the 033, and it actually looks really sharp. I like the angles on this watch. The C-shaped case design is iconic, with the Daini logo underneath there, 21 jewels text. This was released in the early 70s, by the way. It has a mineral crystal, and I think this specific watch does have mineral crystal as an original compared to the typical acrylic ones. I had the glass buffed, and that's about it. I left the case unpolished, and I just love looking at this watch. The one major thing that I hate about this is the case back, which pops out as opposed to screw down. I'll demonstrate real quick here how we're going to do that. I'm just going to use this, and I'm not really particularly see, it easily pops out right there, and there is the watch movement 7019 and the gasket right there. So you have to be extra careful about it getting wet, and I have changed this gasket in the crown and the case back and also the crystal. But I guess my case back gasket is too thin. I say that because when I go into a cold room or a car with the AC, especially if I just washed my hands and accidentally got the watch wet, it will show some condensation inside the watch, which is pretty annoying. Yeah, so the solution was, when I was about to go and do something that would risk my watch getting wet, I just remove it. I just need to press down there a bit. So you can easily get this watch within the $100 to $200 range. Well, not as cheap as before, but way cheaper than the SARB033. And it doesn't try to look classic, because it already is. The next is another C-shaped case, and this is the Seiko Actus 7019-8010. Yes, the main difference here is the case design. To the untrained eye, they look the same. The lug in this watch is straight as opposed to the curved end link of the 7060, and because of that, this looks much more symmetrical. This has a 38mm case size, which matches the 033. I like the look of this bracelet, just straightforward. The dial has some slight gray tint to it, only because it probably had water damage as compared to this one, which is a deep black color. This one has some rust there, some damage. This has the acrylic crystal, which I just ordered a poly watch for to remove the scratches. I'll let you know how that goes soon. In the meantime, it doesn't look as attractive as compared to the previous watch that I've showed you because of that dial damage. But somehow, although it has that damage, it kind of gives character to the watch. You know, being an old, beaten up watch here in the 21st century, being shown off on the internet, it just stood the test of time. I mean, if this was being sold today of equal value that it had before, maybe at around SNXS price range, you know, before the overhype of the gray dial one, maybe sub $250 would make this a hit. It is a pretty good looking watch, especially with that kanji day wheel. So anyway, by operating the day wheel, you have to press down the crown to change it. Yeah, see, it's quite hard because I've changed the gaskets and I put an oversized gasket. Anyway, so yeah, the condition of this watch is not as good as this one. Looking at it online, this one might have the same price range as this watch, right around $100 to $200 US. It would all depend on the condition. And just for a quick comparison, I brought in my Seiko 5 Actus, which is the watch that I reviewed before, together with another Seiko 5, and I love this watch. I really love it. The case design is just excellent. But this is the black version of it. So as you can see, same case, same bracelet, same reference number in the back. Oh, and this one also has the pop out case back, which I really do not like. Same here. So yeah, which one do you like? They both look cool, right? Okay, I saved the best for last, and it is probably one of the more peculiar case shapes in this list. The Seiko 5 6119-8440. Now this is just an astounding looking watch. The case shape is the selling point here. It is a C-shape mixed with some angular edges and a Seiko turtle cushion type. Believe it or not, it just sits so well on the wrist, and my favorite part is that it has a screw down case back, which finally ameliorates that issue with the probability of the water getting in. This also has an acrylic crystal, which will be polished once I get my poly watch. But man, look at that, just a beautiful looking watch as compared to the other C shape here. It just looks so unique. You don't see a dress watch of this shape. This is just one watch that I can't stop appreciating, such wrist presence. The bracelet is not original. This is a Jubilee bracelet, and this probably came with a super engineer style bracelet. This one being Seiko 5 only and not an Actus. It has the Roman numerals for the day wheel, although this watch was made in the Suwa factory as opposed to the other two. So these two factories were just making hit after hit. Of the three, this is a bit harder to find. So the case size on this watch is 39 millimeters. So we started from 37, which is this watch. This one is 38, and this one is 39 millimeters. So you can see we have a 1 millimeter increments on each watch here. So far I can't find any price on this on the internet, but presuming it does show up, it might be higher than $200. These three watches are a gentleman's watch. Just a classic and elegant looking watch. Since the Seiko SARB's prices are only going up and some of these old Seiko 5s are left in the dust, these are way overlooked in my opinion. They were just as good, and when it comes to reliability, well, it is a Seiko and it still works until now, at least for these three watches we have right here. And in terms of accuracy, I'm not too worried about regulating an old watch. It's easy to open, easy to fiddle around and play with. There you have it, 3 Seiko watches that are just as good as the Seiko SARB033, but more affordable, and it's still a Seiko. Till next time, stay safe.